Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Chris Malink, and in this video, we're actually going to talk about backcountry hunting rifles and kind of my research and my experience over the last 7 years of having built, half a dozen different rifles, having changed scopes out, changed stocks out, started from the beginning, just all the technology advancements over the years, and kind of my take on, the different options that are available to you as a backcountry hunter now, and really kind of the most getting, looking at it from two different directions, looking at if you want to spend, if you've got an unlimited budget and you want to spend every single dollar on making the ultimate backcountry hunting rifle, what that's going to look like, versus if you're on a budget or maybe you're newer into hunting but you still want an awesome rig, kind of what your options are there. So again, I've got a lot of experience. I've hunted the mountains of Idaho now for the last 10 years. I've hunted in Montana, Texas, kind of all over the place, but primarily backcountry, half a dozen miles at least in hunting out of my backpack, and really, because of that, I've got a pretty good perspective on what a good backcountry rifle is. And so we're going to talk about that today in this video. I've also got a lot of experience as a competition shooter, shooting national competitions across the US. And so, I kind of combine all of my experience in all three of those arenas to come up with, again, what I think is the best possible setup. If you don't have a budget, if you're willing to go full custom and build it exactly how you want it, versus if you're on a little bit more of a budget, and what the trade-offs are to either one of those. So really to start, when you're talking about a backcountry rifle, there's really three categories that I think of that are most important. The first is the rifle has to be light. Okay, it has to be packable. Early on in my hunting career or my backcountry career, I built a couple rifles that were 10, 11, 12 pound rifles that were extremely shootable, but they were really, really heavy, right? And you find out really, really quickly when you're headed straight up a mountain with a deer or elk on your back, and you've got a pack full of gear for 7 days, that a heavy rifle is just one more thing that makes it challenging. So that's something to consider. The other thing, the next kind of thing that comes to mind is the rifle has to be shootable. Okay, on the extreme end of, or the opposite extreme of a really, really heavy custom style rifle is the ultra lightweight hunter rifle, right? You see that sometimes with the sheep hunters, the guys that have the really, really light rifle. Maybe it comes in around 6 pounds or so with the scope included, which again, really, really light, really packable, but not as great to shoot, right? Not something that, if you had to make a quick shot at, maybe 500 or 600 or 700 yards, that you're gonna feel as confident as you would with something that's built out a little bit more to be shootable. And then the final category, which is the most important, is accuracy, right? Rifle has to be accurate. That's the most important thing, really, for me, is that if a rifle's not accurate for me, I'm just not interested in it, right? It has to be, my criteria is it's got to be, shoot, in that half minute of angle range, so half an inch at 100 yards. That's kind of the criteria for me. If it doesn't quite reach that, then then I'm not going to be satisfied with it. So anyway, I'm going to talk about two different rifles that I've built. I've hunted with both of them, and again, they're kind of a culmination of small changes that I've made over the years to my hunting style, and really, again, suited more towards the backcountry hunter, somebody who wants to have a little bit more reach as far as their shooting range. I've taken animals out a long ways, and I've taken animals close range. Mostly I just want to have the most, have the most success I possibly can have, and sometimes that means taking longer shots in the backcountry. So anyway, in this video series, I'm going to talk about the various different aspects of both of these rifles. I'm going to talk about the caliber selection, I'm going to talk about the build, and I'm talking about kind of going into some of those smaller details of all the things that I've learned over the years. So I hope you guys enjoy these.